Hello YouTube! Oreimo here with how I beat Pringer X. After 2 days of bashing myself against this fight, I ended up with this team of Tyrant Overlord Laharl, Princess Etna, Xeno Sicily, Saint Etna, and Demon Liz. Laharl was the hardest one to gear for me because I've been slacking in making decent speed equips. And oh boy, do you want speed on this battle. In the end, I got him up to 82 speed, also adding in Calidia's training for extra speed. After that, you want the rest of the team to be 56 speed or higher, with the slowest being your main DPS. In my case, that's Sicily. The speed's important to outspeed a mushroom that can paralyze one of your team. You'll be hit with poison, but we can ignore that with all the heals we get from Demon Liz. Let's get into the fight properly. Now I'll go wave by wave. Wave numero uno. You'll want Laharl to buff, then Princess Etna to buff as well. She's nicer now with her recent upgrade to getting crit damage up on her buff. Demon Liz should use her heal, which also has an attack buff attached to it, which will help us later when she actually lands some attacks. Laharl's speed with the added gauge boost from his last buff should give him another turn right away to add another buff to the team. After that, Sicily should use her Nightmare Impact to nearly kill this wave and add more INT to the team. Finish it off with Saint's Pringer Raid Rewind skill. Wave number 2! The zombie should poison Saint, but whatever, it won't kill us. Saint should have the first turn. Just attack. We don't want to waste SP or buff time. Laharl's up next. Buff. Actually, every time it's Laharl's turn, buff. That's all he's here for. Princess buffs now. Then Liz will heal again. Another Laharl buff. What a surprise. And end this wave with Sicily's Nightmare Impact. Wave 3. Sacred Beam with Saint to nearly kill this wave right off the bat. Laharl does his thing. Princess looks up to her Tyrant King and buffs too. Liz shows off her love for the team with another heal. That show of affection freaks out Laharl like all affection does, and he buffs again. So then to save her big brother, Sicily gives the wave a nightmare of death. Wave 4. This wave can go 2 ways. One, the Prinnies put on a resistance barrier, and normally I'd reset the fight. But this buffed up team doesn't care about a 300% resistance buff. To deal with it, you'd hit the wave with Saint twice, with Pringer Raid Rewind followed by her Saint Beam. Laharl buffs, then Princess buffs. Then Liz would mentor Pringer Hurl. Laharl then buffs, and then Sicily nightmares the rest of the damage away. If the Prinnies put up a defense wall, life's easy. Pringer Rewind with Saint, then Punch, then Princess buff, heals from Liz, Laharl's buffin', and then Sicily would end the wave with another nightmare. As a side note, when the Prinnies put up their wall, they also debuff the team for int or attack. Saint's Pringer Rewind helps us negate that effect. Wave 5, dude! This wave just wants to debuff and slow us down, which is fine. We are heavily buffed as it is. Start with Pringer Rewind from Saint, then Punch. Sneak in another buff from Laharl, and then have Princess blow the wave away with her evilness skill. Wave 6. Say hello to the worst wave of the battle, and it's not even Pringer X. This wave has 2 versions, one being the worst version you'll see 90% of the time, being Mao and a few Prinnies. To deal with him, hopefully we've buffed enough in the last few waves to take his preemptive attack that will F up our day and erase all of our buffs. If everyone survives that attack, here's what we do. Begin with having Laharl buff, followed by laying on the hurt to Mao with Saint Etna using Holy Purification. Princess should now buff the team's int and crit back up. On Liz's turn, heal! If you don't, the Prinnies will most likely kill one of the team. And that's sayonara to 3-star if that's the case. Laharl's up again with another, you guessed it, buff! Now treat Mao to Xeno Sicily's Overlord's Killing Zone skill. The Prinnies will get their turns now, and as long as RNG doesn't bite us in the ass, no one will die. Saint should have another turn before Mao gets to go. Cleanse him from this plane of existence with another Holy Purification! Next, you'll want to buff as much as you can manage before going on to the next wave. So we have Laharl buff, and then Princess buff as well. Speed Demon Laharl buffs yet again. Liz patches us up with her heal/attack buff. Now Sicily should whack at the wave's HP with her Arcane Catastrophe. And then Saint can wipe them away with her Sacred Beam. In version 2, if you're so blessed, you'll face off with a normal Sicily and her Prinny friends. She will give your team a 100 SP heal. Use this wave wisely. It shouldn't kill you at all, since you don't lose your buffs this time. Just have Laharl buff more, and then blast away with your AoE magic and AoE physical attacks. Wave 7. Boss time! If you've made it this far, congrats! Pringer himself is no big deal. It's just his leftover Prinny friends that can mess up your 3-star dreams. Start the fight off with Saint Etna's Prinny Rewind, followed by a Holy Purification on the Pringer. Then Laharl buffs. Up next is Princess Etna's turn to spank the robot with her Grand Prinny Summon. Liz should heal. Laharl buff again. And now Xeno Sicily should nuke the Pringer from the board with her Overlord's Killing Zone. And now it's up to fate if the Prinnies kill anyone. Let's assume that we don't have a last-minute FU moment. Saint Etna should use her Prinny Rewind and Sacred Beam combo. Laharl will come in with another buff. Princess will show off her evil side. Another buff from Laharl. Now Liz will select the red Prinny and use her Assist Hawk skill. Reason being that Prinny tanks our magic, and we want him as weakened as possible, if not dead. Sicily will come in with her Nightmare Impact, killing the back row of Prinnies. Saint will now have a turn and win with her Sacred Beam. With that, this fight's done. 3-star. Enjoy never having to do this fight again. Hope this helped. See you next time.